Welcome to Packmates, the podcast about Magic the Gathering Limited, where we take a deep dive into the current limited formats. I'm Robi, the resident Dartle expert.
I'm Andrew, the resident opera expert.
And I'm Joel, the resident combo expert.
And we're the Packmates. With Andrew.
With me.
With Andrew. Yeah. No Ryan this week. Rest in peace.
What? Oh, shit. Pour one out for the boy.
Pour one out. Pour one out.
Check out our Discord, people. It's lively in there. We've been putting up trophy decks like crazy. Actually, everybody's been putting up some fire.
Yep, especially with the quick draft. You're going to see a lot of trophy decks coming up.
Joel, do you do any quick drafting?
I don't. I pretty much exclusively do the premier drafts.
I figured as much in you.
I love quick draft, though. It's just so much faster. No shame in quick drafting.
It's break time friendly.
It is break time friendly. Like,
that's fair.
Sitting on the pot. I don't have 30 minutes to do a premier draft, waiting for the person next to me to decide which green or white card they just want to take.
See, the solution is you just keep drafting while you're working. It works way better.
I had to do that the first week. But luckily I don't have to do that anymore. Thank goodness. Now that quick draft's up. So I don't think we're going to do deck techs this week. I think we're just going to talk about our favorite archetypes in the format. So let's start with Joel. What have you been up to? What have you been drafting in this format?
I've really liked Golgari. I've been drafting a lot of Golgari lately.
So what's the payoff for Golgari? Is it a deck that needs a payoff?
I think that some people try to draft Golgari as super graveyard synergy, and I tend to draft Golgari as green-black good cards.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, that's what it seems like to me.
I've had some decks where I go all in on the graveyard synergy. I had one where I had a back for more, triple Badlands Revival, double Desperate Bloodseeker, all of that stuff, and I went 4-3. And I was like, okay, what am I doing here? Very next draft, I draft Golgari again. I splashed blue for a couple broken cards like Oko, and then I just played all of the good stuff, and I went 7-1.
Jeez.
And I was like, oh, okay, this is what I need to be doing here. And it's not to say Badlands Revival or Back for More are bad cards. They're pretty good cards, right? But trying to lean too much into the synergies instead of just playing the broken cards, just play the good cards, essentially, right?
Yeah. If it's got a forest in the mana cost, from my experience,
it's probably a good card.
It's probably a good card.
It's actively really good.
So play the good green creatures, play the good black removal spells, kill your opponent.
So one thing
that's all you got to do.
I've noticed with a lot of people in this format is I think people tend to play removal too much.
Ooh.
I would disagree. I think people are underdrafting removal.
I think so
too.
Think
so?
Yeah.
From the ward in the last set.
Yep.
Everyone sees murder and they remember how bad murder was because it cost 5 mana
to kill a 2/2. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Murder is good in the set. Consuming Ashes is good in the set. You should play those cards.
Desert Stew is very good too.
Desert Stew is great. I love Desert Stew.
So is green black a desert deck?
The ways I've been drafting it, I've definitely had 5-color green black decks, right? Where you take all the deserts, you take the Desert Stew, and then you splash the bombs. And those can be a lot of fun.
Fair, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's basically been my strategy in all those decks. Is take all the
It largely depends on how cut green is.
Yeah.
Because if green's super cut, you kind of have to do that.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
But if you're just getting some good green cards, like I remember I saw a Free Strider Commando in pack 1 and it was like pick 6. And I was like,
oof.
Okay, that's pretty late for a pretty decent green common. I'm just going to move into green, take the green cards. Right? So I would not force the 5-color. But sometimes you got to have.
So what are the top 5 commons you think for green black?
You're definitely going to want your Consuming Ashes and your Desert Stew. In terms of creatures, your black creatures that you really want, I'm a big fan of Rictus Robber in green-black because you have a lot of ways to kill things. It's a 3 and a black for a 4/3.
Yep.
And it's also got plot for 2 and a black. And then when it ETBs if a creature died, you make a 2/2. It's an uncommon, not a common. Yep. But that was definitely a premium one to pick up. Vault Plunderer, obviously amazing black common.
Yep, the 2-mana 2/2 that makes the treasures.
No, you're thinking of the treasure one. The Vault Plunderers.
The 3/1. The 3/1.
There you go. Yep, 3/1 was left draw.
Draw a card. Yep.
Yeah, that card's very
strong. In terms of the green cards, obviously if you can get some hard bristle bandits, they can be good, but I think people are actually slightly overvaluing them. Their data's actually not great.
Huh. That's interesting.
Yeah, they're one of the worst green commons, which is kind of crazy.
Jeez.
Honestly.
Hard bristle bandit? That's wild to me.
Yeah.
That is very crazy.
I remember someone saying that it was, I think, the 3rd worst or something like that, which is insane. I haven't checked that for a while. It might have gone up.
But also, every single green card is busted. like exactly. Being the 3rd worst green common makes you better than any blue card in the set. Right? Like, yeah. Like, genuinely. Like,
no. Green is very, very good. Take the green cards.
Yep.
So, yeah, I'm not going to be like, oh, these are the green cards you need for the most part. Obviously, some green cards are more premium than others. If you can get some Outcast or Green Blades,
that's busted, right? That's like obvious. But, like, are there any cards that maybe stand out in green-black that you don't think have much of a home in other green decks? Like, the home for them, kind of like. Yeah, I think Rise of the Varmints might be one.
Rise of the Varmints to some degree, but I think Rise of the Varmints just goes in your really creature-heavy decks.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, if you didn't get there on removal and you've got a whole bunch of creatures, then Rise of the Varmints is going in your deck, right?
Yeah.
Rise of the Varmints, I could definitely see it, but I think people are also playing it in decks that they shouldn't. Like, I think even in the deck that I had it in, that we posted in the Trophy Decks in the Discord, you should go check it out. You know, if you look at my creature count, right? In terms of 2s, I've got a couple Stubborn Burrow Fiends, which help a lot. But other than that, I've got a lot of removal.
Do you think Stubborn Burrow Fiend goes into every green-black deck?
Yes, it goes in every green deck.
Everyone?
Nearly everyone.
Yeah.
Unless if you're just flooded on 2s.
It seems kind of sketch in like the ultra greedy, like you only run a couple of each lands kind of decks. It kind of scares me.
I tend to not draft those decks. And the other thing with those decks is that's largely an irrational fear, unless if you have
I know it is for sure.
It feels
I'm
really
still
bad.
Terrified of it. Like I've done it too much that I'm like permanently scarred.
On average, it's going to get you closer to the land you need just as often as it is going to mill over the land you need.
For sure.
So it only matters when it comes to tutors, right? If you have a whole bunch of Dance of the Tumbleweeds, then you're a little more sketchy on Stubborn Burrow Fiend. But even then, I'm inclined to play it. It's just so good.
It is very good. It's very disgusting. And it's so annoying to have to use a removal spell on it because you want to use your removal spells on not a 2/2.
Yeah.
And whenever you do, you make their Burrow Fiend bigger.
It just clocks them for so fast, though.
Yeah,
I mean, really, the guy gets out of hand really quick. I've seen it go from like a... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no. Randomly late game, too. You play it, and immediately, it's just like an 8/8 the next turn.
So gross. It's so gross with Grizzly, too. I've been very, very, very impressed with Grizzly, especially in green decks. I think like Grizzly is almost like a necessity to win with green decks.
I wouldn't say it's a necessity.
It's so much nicer for sure. Like than trying to get through 1 billion at knife point tokens and just giving everything
all I'm saying is the stats on Grizzly are not great. It's negative
really?
1 improvement when drawn.
Yeah.
Its opening win rate's only 55%. Right.
I like it better when I know I'm gonna have big dummies. But I don't have like the removal to clean up the board to get my big dummies on.
I gotta say, I really like this. The Grizzly looks good in your trophy deck here because you've also got these. You got 2 ambush Gigapedes in here, and that is just so cute when you can give those guys trample.
Oh yeah, Giving Ambush Gigapede's Trample is really nice. And another thing to note is Drover Grizzly's stats go up pretty significantly when you look at it in the green-black deck. Right?
So
it goes down to almost even on the improvement when drawn. It's negative like 0.3. And its opening hand win rate goes up a little bit. Like on average, it's better in green-black compared to just random green.
Yeah, I've always had better luck with it in decks that just had big dummies that were hard to get in with.
Yeah.
Like
the two decks that goes in are the mount deck. Obviously, it's a mount. You know, if you can get a counters,
you can find it with the stupid mount land, which I've been thoroughly.
Bucolic Ranch.
I'm thoroughly impressed with it. I've run it in everything.
I've come around on Bucolic Ranch.
It's so good being able to surveil stuff to the bottom, or like. It's actually really good. I play it with 0 mounts. Unironically. It makes your green blade bigger, and you can also use it to like scry. It's like a scry land for 3 mana. Yeah.
Fetching it off of any of the land tutors is super good. I always play it when I have the land.
Yeah, I do too. Like it's like free. It's so tight.
It is a colorless.
It is a colorless land that can scry though.
Mm-hmm.
I'm impressed with it. And if you have any amount of mounts, it's sick.
Oh, yeah.
If you ever draw a card off it, it's like actively broken.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So, Andrew, what's your favorite archetype in this format?
Yeah, so I was off drafting a little bit. And so this week I've gotten back into the quick drafting. And so I had a chat with Ryan earlier in the week. And I said, hey, Ryan, what's good? I was like, I've been out of the game for a little while. And I need to know. And he says, you know what? It's really good. Grixis. But Grixis deserts. I said, so you just play all the best cards?
This deck infinity times
already.
Yeah.
I got to say, it's just.
This is also one of my favorites for sure.
It's so sick. This deck is just like, it's so me. Like, I really love removal heavy decks. And this is just like straight removal with just some hard to kill creatures. Like, I got a Gissa. I mean, that's just like solidly one of the better cards.
Yeah, that's actively broken.
Yeah. But you can just win with just some random dorks because you just eventually you attrition them out. It's really fun to have like all the different kind of removal spells. And then you get this, and when you're playing blue like that, you also get like, was it Plan the Heist? So you get like a 3-for-1 kind of thing where you're getting more than your 2-for-1s. And I feel like that's kind of the hallmark of some of these decks like Hypnosizzle, but getting more than a 2-for-1. So you're actually breaking a lot of symmetry. There's so many cards in here and in the sets that do more than just one thing, or they're 2-for-1s inherently. So then when you're getting like a 3-for-1, it feels much better.
Yeah, I've had bad luck with blue in these decks.
Oh, really?
Yeah, with the exception, there's only been a couple blue cards that I've actively wanted in these decks. Mm-hmm. One is the Lock Picker, which is just actively insane.
Oh, yeah, it's so
Lock
good.
Picker is so good.
It could be a mythic. Honestly,
it really could. It's literally Snapcaster Mage.
Oh, it's so good.
Like it's so good.
It felt really good to Hypnosizzle twice.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it's just
in limited.
So
in limited, I think it's simply better than Snapcaster Mage because randomly you can cast a big card that you never actually have the mana to flash back.
yeah. It's so good. I've been thoroughly impressed with it. Like that card's insane. And that's like it. that's kind of like I play Intimidation Campaign because it's funny. But
this deck like was so good with Intimidation Campaign because I have so many ways to commit crimes.
So I'm not convinced.
Really?
So this deck kind of struggles a little bit with the way that I think the crime decks really need to go off. Really? Which is like, I don't see a lot of ways to do it on your opponent's turn reliably every single turn. I guess you have a ton of instants for sure, but like
Siphon Insight's an instant.
That is an instant that probably finds an instant off your opponent's deck. Yeah.
Actually, it was funny. One of my opponents in one of the games, they had basically like a Thrashing Brontodon kind of style card. I think it's the 2/2 guy that you can sacrifice to destroy an enchantment. So I go and try to kill it with an instant spell. And then they're like, okay, cool. I'll take out your campaign. I was like, okay, I'll just Siphon Insight. And so I bounced back the information campaign. It was so brutal.
Oh yeah, that's always been like the best thing about it was like about like what was the other one? Disinformation campaign.
Mm-hmm.
It's like whenever they were targeting it and you could just bounce it was so sick.
Yeah. I did in this deck. I had some spice, like just for fun for myself. I had a commandeer. I don't think the stats on. I'm sure the stats are really bad on that, right, Joel?
No, commandeer is unplayable in limited. Do not put commandeer.
I played it. I played it for the lols, and I won a game off of it. I cast it for 7, and it felt really bad, but it was also hella good because it got me the removal spell to just like win the game. But yeah, don't ever play it. It was so bad. I actually pitched it quite a bit to the highway robbery, like almost every time.
Yeah.
For comparison, in the games where it is played, you have resolved your 7 mana spell. Mm-hmm. Its win rate is 45%.
You know, at the end of the day, though, that's like 100% better than Mana Flare, and so like you know, for 40%, people could be doing it wrong with that stat.
Yeah, sure, we'll go with that. You put in your deck, Robi. I'll hope I Q into you.
Yeah, it seems sketch for sure.
Yeah, but this deck was cool. I mean, it just felt like a cool, just like pick all the removal, have a couple of guys, and that's really all you need. Like so, you just protect them.
So that was kind of like my day one crime committing kind of idea, but it's kind of evolved a little bit. Oh. Like I definitely have changed the ways that I build my crime decks now. Like my favorite crime payoff in this format as of right now is add knife point. And that's kind of like how I build my decks at this point. What do you think about that, Joel? As far as like the crime payoffs?
In the right deck, add knife point is really cool. I like it.
Yep.
But I think in terms of how much you need to enable it, you have to enable it even more than Intimidation Campaign. Which is
I think so too.
Yeah.
I do think so too. But I think like the ceiling is way higher.
I mean, yeah, making a 1/1 every turn and on your opponent's turn is nuts.
Yep.
And I've had decks that do that, where I had you really 2 mana 1/3 that pings.
Yep, that's the secret. That's the secret is Deadeye Duelist. And like if you don't have Deadeye Duelist, add knife point's pretty bad. But like if you get Deadeye Duelist, which people are not taking that card high right now, and that's the secret.
No, it goes really late.
Yeah, it really does. You can table them even.
Its average last seen at pick 5.69, which is a little earlier than I thought.
Wow, honestly, I'm surprised by that.
But
I first picked it last week.
That's crazy.
I first picked it. I went 2-0-1, and I would have won too. I was at 39 life, and my opponent was at 4. I talked about it last week, but I had the most unhinged 5-color deck where it just, when it went off, it was unbeatable and so stupid. Yeah, but Vial Smasher is like the other key to add knife point decks. Is if you can get it going with Vial Smasher, it's just unbeatable.
Have you been
building Vial Smasher is both an enabler and a payoff in that deck, which is what makes
crazy.
It so gross.
Yeah, which is so good, genuinely. Yeah, but those are like the 3 pieces I've found. That and Prickly Pear too. Is it called Prickly Pear?
Yeah.
Prickly Pear, yeah. For some reason, I was reading it like Prickly Pear, like the fruit. Which it's like a play on words of that. I just am now realizing that. That's awesome.
Yeah. Robi, what have you been on like recently?
Mostly add knife point decks.
Really?
And I've been playing like a lot of weird variations of it. Like green at knife point decks.
Oh, okay.
Like base green, splashing the Deadeye Duelist. As long as you have like base green red, Deadeye Duelist is like basically the only crime enabler that you really actually need if you can get 2 or 3 of them. Mm-hmm. And then just splashing a bunch of other random weird stuff like Barons. The X red white spell is really good in that deck. like kind of weird go wide green decks that don't make any sense. But yeah, like no, I've been like super experimenting with like the crime decks for sure. But yeah, like mostly crime decks. I've played a lot of green white. One card I've been thoroughly impressed with in this format is I think Gold Pan is pretty good. What do you think?
There's no way.
I think it's good.
No,
What's the stats on Gold Pan? It had good stats a couple weeks ago,
yeah,
right?
it did. It was like
But it was like the first week,
yeah,
right?
it was week one.
It's improvement when drawn is 0.1, which is well below the mean.
Okay.
But
like
and then its games played win rate is 52%, which is also well below the mean.
Look,
its opening hand win rate is better, right? It's at the mean, but yeah.
Looking green white. No, go to decks green white.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Green white.
I was talking to Andrew. I wasn't correcting you, Joel.
It's minus 0.5 improvement when drawn. Opening hand win rate is 59% in green white though.
That's really
so it's
high.
really good for your opening hand of green white.
Yeah, no,
really good.
Yeah, that's where it's been surprising me. Is like having it in your opening hand ramps you from 3 to 4, which like gets you to Paladin really quick.
Yeah.
Which is like a disgusting play pattern.
I'd rather just play the Hard Bristle Bandit.
Yeah, me
every
too.
time.
Me too. But like that's like a poor man's Hard Bristle Bandit.
It's a really poor man's Hard Bristle Bandit.
Really poor man's. But like when green is so good that it's being contested everywhere. Like sometimes you just have to play Gold Pan. And like I
have a deck where I play Gold Pan. I'm gonna be honest. I hate the card. Maybe I should, but
it's pretty good. It is pretty good. Like it's like a tempo loss playing it on 2 for sure, right? Like, but everyone else is doing weird stuff that's losing them tempo too. So like, it's kind of feels okay most of the time.
Yeah, no, there are definitely times it's reasonable. Like the opening hand win right there is very impressive.
Yeah, that's crazy. In green white, yeah, that's wild. But yeah, I've been thoroughly impressed with that. I played in like all my decks basically.
The only time I had a really good line with it was I played the 1/1 flyer that tapped something. I was playing blue white, and I played the 1/1 flyer that tapped something, Gold Pan, and then I curved into Stoic Sphinx.
Yeah, that's
off
crazy.
of it.
That's crazy.
And then my opponent conceded like the next turn because they realized that I'm never going to cast another spell, and that thing's going to have hexproof, and it'll be a 6/4 flyer.
Yeah, that's disgusting for sure.
It was disgusting.
I am a huge Gold Pan stan at this point for sure. Like I've been playing a lot of it. It's super adorable with Baron, which. After Joel explained it to me, I kind of love him now. I will admit, Joel. Baron is funny.
Yeah, but it takes a lot of work.
Yeah, no, it's stupid. It's very dumb. I have been playing a lot of like green-based token decks though. Like I had the pest controlled or whatever, the one that makes the pests. I had like a weird 6-win deck today where I played 2 formal posses and one of the pest control or whatever it's called, the one that destroys artifacts and makes double X. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about, right?
The card is insane. It's one of the biggest bombs in the set.
Yeah, it's really stupid.
It's really insane.
Really, really, really stupid. It's like a rich man's formal posse, which I've been thoroughly impressed with too.
I always hear people talk about how good green is. Has it been hard to draft green in your pods?
Yeah. It's absurd. It's like ultra contested everywhere. Like even in my green black deck, I was still like in my red black deck tonight, I was still splashing green.
Wow.
Yeah. Like usually top 3 has green in their decks. That's what I've seen every week so far. Yeah. Is top 3 greens in there somewhere.
Oh wow.
Whether it be like splashing or like I would love to see like the rankings and then like how many green cards they have in their deck. Like that would be super cute. I should do that next week. Because my theory would be the person with the most green cards is probably first place, realistically.
I'd buy it, honestly. That's how good green is.
Yeah.
We should do a challenge where you only take green cards in quick draft.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that would be sick.
That would be funny. Just see if you can get a deck where if there's any green card, you must take it.
Probably trophy.
and you must play every green card you take.
Oh, man. There's not very many bad ones.
If green is in the mana cost, then there isn't a solid green card. So, what are the rules for our challenge? If green is in the mana cost, can you take it over a just solidly green card? Only green card?
Yeah. So if it's a green-blue card, for instance, Oko, you're allowed to take Oko over other green card.
Okay.
So it's just got to have a green mana symbol in it.
It has to have a green mana symbol.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Yep. Post it in the trophy decks if you trophy with that. Ryan will give you a prize. Rest in peace. But yeah.
Is this turning out to be a solid 2-color format, a splash format, or like a 5-color format? We've seen those many times. How's it turning out to be for you guys?
Asking me is a trap because I will like always play 5 colors in every format, but it seems like it's a little friendly to it for sure.
What do you think, Joel?
From the data I've seen online, top decks are flashing, I want to say it was 20% more than the last format. It's like a significant amount.
Wow.
Like a significant number of decks are splashing. And they're not just splashing a little bit, they're splashing, multiple cards, multiple colors.
Very aggressively. Yeah, no, it seems a little stronger than normal for sure. Which I love formats like that. And I'm shaping up to absolutely love this format. What do you think, Joel? Do you love it? Yeah.
It's been a good time. I've definitely
so much
had
fun. There's so ridiculous of deep synergy everywhere. Like there's so many hilarious things you can do. Like today, I had a play where I used the threaten effect. What's it called?
Take for a ride.
Take for a ride. Yeah, I played that at instant speed by activating my Deadeye Duelist to grab their Voracious Vermin, to blow up their Mystical Tether, to get back my Magda, and Chump Block with the Voracious Vermin. And it was like the most disgusting play I've literally ever done. It was so gross. And like the opponent was just like, I had no idea that could happen. like when I was planning out what was going to happen, that was nowhere near what I thought was about to happen.
Yeah, honestly, that's just a bad opponent. If they were good, they would have played around that, if you ask me.
They were tapped out. If they were good, they would have tapped. Don't talk trash on the people that are going to listen, Joel.
Well, you gotta play to all the outs. You gotta think of all the possibilities
to
that
play
happen.
Around the sideboard take a ride.
Hey.
The sideboard take a ride that nobody has ever cast at instant speed except for me tonight, right? Like that was crazy though. Yeah, I had no idea that. Like I even had to remember that you could do that.
Yeah, that's sick.
Have you cast any take for rides yet, Joel? I would recommend it. Strongly recommend.
2 of speed after pinging with the 1-3. I'd just been holding them in hand for the longest time. It was in a sealed game. And then he just swung out. He had lethal. I stole 2 of his creatures, blocked with 2 of his creatures, made a couple of blocks, then had lethal on the crack.
It's so gross on the like instant speed being able to like take their stuff and block with it because it untaps it too. Because I didn't realize that. That was like the missing link in my brain looking at it was I didn't realize that it untapped too, which is crazy, which is so good, genuinely.
Yeah, no, it's a very well designed card because it's normally not that good, but when it's enabled, it's awesome.
Which is exactly what we should. Cool. It's so cool, genuinely. Yeah, I love this format. It's the best since Mom.
Ooh.
Easy. I love Wilds too, but
Definitely better than Murders of Carl Minor.
like literally
sure.
anything
Yeah.
is. You rub two rocks together, you can make something better than
I
that.
just like that. I'm beginning to warm up to this format a little bit. I thought it was super bomb heavy, and it still kind of is a little bit. But I think I think the format has kind of corrected itself now, though. Like you kind of realize that, like Joel was saying earlier, we got so scarred from those detective or from the suspect
from
tokens.
removal being bad.
Yeah, from removal being bad, everything costed 2 more that we just forgot how good old murder is, or good old, is just any kind of removal spell is good again. But you got to be a little bit more cautious with the removal that you have.
Yeah,
especially
definitely.
If you're light.
Yeah. Yep. I've been holding removal a lot more than normal.
There's so many bombs.
Yeah, you got to be careful. You cannot just use your removal on a random 2-drop and expect to win.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You have to use your removal on the thing that's gonna like hella kill you, like Vial Smasher. Like if you see a Vial Smasher, you have to kill it, right?
Yeah. I've been using my life more as a resource in this one, and really just like, how low can I really go before I really have to fire off this removal spell?
There is a lot of like really weird reach though.
Yeah.
I've noticed.
Well, the desert lands don't help.
Desert lands too. Like desert lands, like if they just go like bird desert, they just like hit you for 2 out of nowhere. Like there's just so much incidental like pinging, which is like how I've been killing literally everyone.
In my experience, stabilizing at 2 is no longer stable.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
It isn't. Like even 3 feels scary.
Yeah. There are definitely times 3 is like, I don't know.
If they go like Vile Smasher, Prickly Pear, that's just 2. That's just 2. And then a desert, like that's 3. Like that's nothing, right? Like that's so easy to do. But like there is a lot of life gain too. That's one thing I've noticed. Like with like Intimidation Campaign or Bird too, Raven. But yeah. So what do we have for is that all we have? Any final thoughts on this format?
I'm anxious to see how it goes. We just had a pro tour come through, and so I'm kind of anxious to see how things kind of correct from that as well.
Yep.
I'm really curious to see after the arena open if there's anything different.
Ooh, yeah.
Yep, me too. I love this format though. It's tight.
Yeah, it's a great time.
This one is awesome.
The head designer was really good. He designed some good stuff. I think he was the guy who did Kamigawa.
He's the guy who did Mom, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. He's got some bangers, man.
Yep. All-timer.
Yeah.
I'm saying it now. But so this week for our Superfecta, we're gonna have favorite instruments. Okay. Let's start with Andrew. Let's let Andrew go first.
I will pick the cello.
Okay. That's an instrument
Mm-hmm.
that I listen to maybe once every 3 years.
So good. So good.
Just kidding. Cello's cool. So now it's my pick. I'm going to say guitar. Objectively, the coolest instrument.
Guitar is better.
It's the coolest. There's no argument. It's the coolest. It's also not the most practical, I don't think, but it's the coolest. It's the only one that'll get you some honeys.
I'm gonna up you. I'm gonna say electric guitar. It is significant.
That's what I meant. You know that's what I
don't know.
meant.
I thought you meant acoustic.
That's how we
Okay. I'll take the normal guitar, I guess. The acoustic guitar.
All right. So what's your second pick, Joel? You get to
I'm gonna go with the flute.
Flute's good. The Lizzo special.
Yeah. Flute is cool. Yep. Lizzo is sick at flute too.
She really is. Yeah. She's
sick at
actually
flute.
really good.
All right, for mine, I'm gonna go with objectively the worst instrument, bagpipes.
Bagpipes are so good, man.
They're tight. They're amazing. Man. They're also objectively the worst instrument, I think. Like the most screechy. They're crazy. Yep. But I love them.
For my second pick, I will take the harp. I think it's such a cool instrument.
Yeah. Harp is cool.
Yep. And then for my third instrument, I kind of want to just have something awkward and weird. So I'm going to say...
Like the bagpipes?
No. I'm going to say the theorbo.
I don't know what that is.
That is a classic guitar. It's super huge. Joel, do you know this instrument?
I don't.
Oh man, look it up. Everybody, do yourself a favor and look up the Theorbo. It's just insane.
Huh.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, I've never heard of that. Is it a mix between a guitar and an oboe?
Oh man. Okay, continue on.
Okay. If we're on awkward, weird ones, I'm gonna go ahead and say the hurdy-gurdy, which is also an awkward, weird instrument. Do you know about that one, Joel? That is wild.
How crazy is the Theorbo?
I don't know it.
Why does it have so many strings? Dude, it's got like 10 strings. It's like metal.
It's a Baroque instrument.
It's super metal. In metal, we on like 10 strings now. But they've been doing that a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
I bet that's tuned super low.
They said hurdy-gurdy?
Yeah. I don't mean it, though. I actually don't want to do it. I'm going to say drums.
Oh.
I love drums. Drums are cool.
Well, for weird ones, I'm going to have to go with cowbells.
Oh, so good.
Hardly an instrument, basically just a drum.
Oh my gosh. I got a cowbell story. Like we were just recently doing a Candide over in the opera company that I work for. And at one point the director was just like, wait a second, I'm missing something here. And the conductor was just like, I think I need more cowbell. And I could not believe how many people just started erupting in laughter, just like giggling. And they were like, did he just ask for more cowbell?
From the meme.
It was so good.
I do love cowbell.
It's a good instrument.
Yeah.
It's fun. All right, Joel, you get another one.
For a real one, I'm gonna go with the cello. The cello is great.
He already said that. Andrew already said that. You can't.
That was our first ballad pick.
Snake him. We didn't.
I'll go with violin then.
Violin's good. Violin's hella good.
Basic.
Yeah, good job. Good job.
For my last pick, nobody actually has chosen the piano, which isn't the coolest instrument like the guitar, but is objectively the best instrument, I think.
No.
Easily.
I'm still start playing it. No, I refuse.
Like playing it? It's the easiest one to play.
No, I played it from first grade till junior year of high school.
Yeah.
Like, hour a day.
It's
every
easy.
day.
Nice.
Competition. I fucking hated it.
But it's objectively the best instrument, right?
No, it's the worst.
Why is it the worst?
On this.
It's like the easiest to play. There's a reason why we use like piano roll and all the DAWs, right? Like, because it's like the easiest one to pick up. It's hard to master, but yeah, it's cool. All right, what's your last pick, Andrew?
Oh man, I'm really. I don't know if I want to go with a trolley pick or if I want to go with like a cool pick. I think I'm gonna pick.
Pick the troll one. Obviously, that's what the people want.
The trolley one was gonna be the theremin.
That's like hardly really an instrument.
It's not really an instrument.
It's not.
Yeah,
It's like a radio that somebody put their hands next to.
Okay. So I think I'm gonna choose. I kind of like the steel drum. I don't know why. I think it's just kind of fun instrument.
It is funny.
It's like
funny for sure.
It's kind of cool. I like it. Accordion's really good too. It's like literally every culture has an accordion.
Yeah, accordion's like the classy bagpipes.
Oh man,
like bagpipes with class.
Robi, you like some Tejano kind of Latin music?
I don't like accordion. I actually actively hate the accordion.
Me too.
I like it when they play the accordion on a keyboard. Like the fake accordion. That's good. That's okay. But like I don't like real accordion. It's too screechy and hurts my ears. like I love me fake accordion for sure. Yeah, but
and that's the superfecta.
Yeah, that's all we got this week. Tune back next week to hear why Joel hates the piano.
We'll make it a recurring segment.
Recurring segment every week. All right, bye.
Bye.